Pro players have all changed this one setting in Modern Warfare 3 to hybrid. But why? And how can you use this to improve your gameplay? Well, you clicked on the right video. But first, check this out.
DJ, one shot absolute. DJ.
Run it.
Behind the desk.
What back out? On.
Laying on the desk.
Now, I can't guarantee you'll be moving like Shotzi after this video, but in the next 3 steps, you'll be on the way there. Step 1 is understanding why we're changing this setting. Tap to slide was the most popular because it removes the delay from pressing circle to when the game registers it as a slide. And that's why Call of Duty added the hybrid setting, which allows you to decide between sliding and diving without adding an increase in input delay for either. The benefit of diving is to quickly evade, safely check lanes, and the insanely overpowered dive cancel, which we'll get to later in this video. But the problem with this setting and why it took a long time for pros to catch on is because it's difficult to get the muscle memory down and will lead to a lot of accidental dives, especially in intense situations. Which leads us to step 2, which is muscle memory. The way hybrid works is that pressing slide while holding sprint dives and pressing slide while not holding sprint slides. You need to put some time into perfecting this setting, and that's okay. You'll spend a day or 2 dying to accidental dives, but if you stay tuned, you'll see why it's absolutely worth it. What you need to do is hop into a private match with the hybrid setting turned on and simply play as normal without diving. You need to break the muscle memory of being able to slide with the left stick held down, and to do that you need to play. I recommend shooting about 100 bots with an SMG and 100 bots with an AR so you get used to your normal movement at varying speeds. Once your sliding is down, we can practice diving. Let's start by practicing an evasive dive. We'll do this by first getting a kill, then immediately diving away, preferably behind cover or away from other enemies. This is one of the most frequent uses of the dive and something you'll want to get used to for ranked play. But that's only the evasive method. So step 3 is the dive cancel. The only way to use the dive offensively because it removes the dive to fire delay and is incredibly hard to keep up with from the opponent's POV. There's only a few places on each map that are able to be dive canceled, and if you hit subscribe, we'll go over every single one that I know of. I'm actually going to do it anyways. Let's start with a head glitch here at top plat. You want a decent amount of distance between yourself and the ledge. If you hit the ledge too soon, you'll stop, and you'll see it looks a little bit clunky and it stops your motion. You want your camera or your POV to be just a little bit past the edge, and what that looks like is this: your motion continues and your gun is up and able to be shot as you're falling down from the dive cancel. I'll show you again. So this is too soon. You'll see my body get stuck and I don't continue on, and the dive cancel just right is there. My gun is up and I'm ready to keep shooting. At the DJ booth, there are 2 ledges that are able to be dive canceled. The first one on this front part towards mid, you hit it just right and you can challenge the mid steps this way. Or if you're coming from here, you can dive cancel chow blue or top gold. What people don't know is that this small ledge, you can hop on top of it and check blue. You can also dive cancel it to challenge blue like this. Or if you angle just right, you can challenge towards piano like that. And from the opponent's POV, these are actually insane. Up next, of course, is the top P3 heady. You should start your dive once you hit the top of these steps like so, and you'll see your gun is up and ready to be shot midway through. If you want to challenge blue, you can dive cancel on the armrest right here. This makes for a nasty camera, but of course you do have to be starting from on top of the couch before you jump out. Up here in gold, we know that we can walk along this ledge here, but did you know you can actually dive cancel it as well if you want to challenge towards blue? Of course, what that looks like is lining up with the bottom ledge, dive canceling, and then turning. Your body has to be angled a little bit to the right. If you look to the left, you'll just barely catch it. Problem is, if you look too far, you won't catch it just right, and it'll be a little bit more clunky. Another one you can catch is the top of the waterfall as a cancel as you're headed down. This one's a little bit harder to hit, so you kind of have to turn as you're falling your way down the waterfall. Unfortunately, at this window here, there's no way to dive cancel that ledge, as it either stops you too soon like that, or makes you continue through and complete the full dive as you land down low. On Vista, there's a few you need to know. My favorite, of course, is top burger. If you catch this just right, you can challenge mid, flat, or anybody that's on hill. You can also look to the right if you want to challenge anybody this way. Unfortunately, with the back window, it makes you continue the dive, but if you turn your body and hit the window just right, you can kind of cancel the dive that way. But with how finicky this one is, I don't do it very often. If you're top plat and want to ego chow the left side of their spawn, you can do so on top of the sign right here. The same thing goes for the other sign if you know that somebody's mid steps. If you're trying to rotate from top P1 towards P3, you can dive cancel on top of the bridge like so. That way you can camera or chow anybody that's playing the low bridge for rotations. You can do the same thing for most any part of the bridge on this side. And you can dive cancel this part of the bridge from the P1 railing just like this. And of course, back office, both of these windows can be canceled, as well as here towards bridge or the left side of the spawn. And Karachi has a lot of great ones. The first one is from these barrels close to soda. If you dive cancel on them like so. If you dive cancel towards the outer part of the last one, it allows you to challenge anybody. That could be at the archway. Going up over here to top fire, the top fire balcony is able to be canceled on. And you can challenge anybody that's going to be diner. Or if you look towards the other side, towards soda, you can challenge them this way as well. Also out these windows of fire if you know that somebody's playing short or arches. Coming over here to diner, both of these walls are able to be dive canceled towards the back, as well as anything yellow car. And also if you hop up on this wall, you can dive cancel the hop up wall over there towards their spawn. All of these are able to be finessed, great ways of challenging back alley, getting a great camera on anybody yellow car or bus. And then like I just said, pushing towards their spawn. I went a little bit too far on that one, but you get the general idea. If you're trying to chow their spawn, you can do so just like this. If you're trying to make a last minute save into P1 or A control, you can definitely do so by canceling on the lips here, both the right side and the left side. You can from the offensive side as well. You just have to hit the left side of this wall. And we can hit these barrels similarly to how we did over there by low soda. This challenges BS and D like so. And the next cool spot is over here. On invasion is actually this small ledge over here by the A street. If you dive onto that, you can continue your chow towards their spawn, towards Jeep, Sandbags tank. And anybody that might be playing an off angle over here by the tank or close towards courtyard will never see that coming. Unfortunately, most of these walls at courtyard are just the wrong height, so that you either hit it too short or it continues your dive all the way over the wall. So I wouldn't really try to hit any in mid courtyard at all, as they're just not going to be fluid. Same goes for chowing the control point over here. I wouldn't necessarily go with these, as it's going to push you all the way over rather than canceling it like it normally should. Basically, all these are just the wrong height, so this map's a little bit more limited on what you can and can't dive cancel. Off spawn and search and destroy, you can hit this car. Doesn't really help you too much in the moment, but it's good for momentum. Unfortunately, with these windows, it sends you up and over, or it just stops you altogether. So I wouldn't recommend diving through these. Over here at back treehouse, this wall is able to be canceled on. If you're trying to challenge anybody at the control point or closer towards B tank, you can also use this to challenge anybody that's front DVD or top blue. And if you're top broken, you can dive cancel on this ledge, which allows you to challenge both top treehouse and low treehouse. Up next is sub base. I have a few favorites, but my first is top P2 window. If you hit it like so, you can challenge towards mid or tunnel. Same thing, of course, to the right side towards P5. I just really like how it lands you on the generator up front, so you're not falling too far before you're challenging. The top warehouse windows work just great, as you can challenge towards P5 anybody that's in the corner. Same thing from the left window as well. And if you're a maniac and want to challenge lower garage, you can do that as well. The lower window, unfortunately, is a little bit too low and leaves you stuck on the ground even if you do hit the cancel. So I wouldn't recommend using it here. Nice way to challenge P3, as long as you clear out the back areas, is to jump on this part of the railing from the top. And if you hit that just right, it cancels your dive as you're falling down. Definitely an interesting way to challenge P3 that your opponents are not going to be expecting. Especially if you continue it with a bunny hop at the end, you'll see we go flying. This window is already a pain to jump through, so you'll be happy to hear that you can successfully dive cancel through it, so you don't have to worry about hitting your head on the top of the window like I have countless times. From lower P2, you can even dive cancel the lower P2 window towards maze. On high rise, there's a couple you need to know if you're trying to finesse in the green shed. You can do so on either side, both inside of green shed and outside. You know there's a ledge here that allows you to crouch and look towards blue. Of course, you can cancel on top of that if you hit it at just the right angle towards blue. Going up to top heli, if you're trying to make a last minute save on the control point, you can do so by canceling this ledge, which keeps your gun up while you're challenging anybody that might be in the cell tower corner. I'll show you that again. You do have to start your dive a little bit early, but you can make it all the way across. And like I said, your gun stays up so that anybody that's on site, you'll be able to challenge them. Same thing for this ledge of the ladder bottom pit if you want to challenge anybody towards blue. Or on this side if you have the information that somebody's playing their pit. Same goes for the crack shack window if you want to chow their spawn windows. All of top heli ledge if you're trying to challenge anybody underneath you at A control. Same goes for this side for anybody underneath the steps. The same thing for this rail if you know that somebody's camping underneath the pit steps. And for Rio, if we're here at top U, what I like to do here to get information on anybody playing the bridge, top up on this couch first and then dive across. And as you dive across, you can slowly see if anybody is playing at that stairwell, or at the top doors. This is a good post plant play if you get the bomb down. And if we go over here off the defensive spawn, you can dive on this ledge if you angle it just right. Same thing for this one. And if you line up with that ledge right there and hit it just right, you can finish your dive with your gun still up. For anybody that could be ramp or over towards P4. Be careful trying to dive over these ledges on P2 as it continues your dive all the way over the ledge, and so your gun will not be up as you challenge P2. Same thing goes for the half wall as well. Avoid the dive cancel on both of those. And if you're trying to get super fancy, you can dive cancel down the eskies as long as you hit the end of the esky just right. You kind of have to go for more distance than you think and catch the very end of the esky. And of course the bench at P1, you can grab this left side, challenging behind it on both sides, as well as this bench closer to you if you're trying to challenge the corner on either side, like so. You can also hit these windows at the top of the bridge if you're trying to challenge anybody that's in the hill. And same goes for the other side. And those are 3 tips for the hybrid movement mechanic in Model 3. I hope this video enjoyed. If it did, like, subscribe, and I'll catch you next time at lunchtime.